Hey gang, this is Mike with MrNoFluff.com, and today I'm going to give you an honest review on a Vespa Halo clone of Microtech Halo. Okay, let me put this disclaimer out there. I bought this knife with my own money. This is not a loaner or a tester from the manufacturer. I spend my own money, therefore I'm going to give a no fluff review. Okay, now this is a Chinese company, right? And many people are talking bad about Chinese company, but let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I am so impressed with this knife. This knife cost me $113. And here's the thing, I have $2,270 of Microtech knives. I've already owned a Halo Microtech 6, which I bought just recently. In less than 14 days, I had to ship it in because it started opening up. Unlike this knife, and again, I spent $750 on that. There should be a video popping up talked about this. But I spent only $113 on this clone, which is called the Vespa. It doesn't have the it does not have the Microtech name or anything on there. But let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this knife is very, 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 very impressive because it feels the same weight. It fires as hard as the original Halo 6 because I have one, but again, I got it in 14 days. I had to send it back to Microtech because it had problems with it right off the bat. Like, I just got it, you know, and that's why I'm a little disappointed in Microtech. Because of Microtech's failures, I ended up buying these clones because I was wondering if these clones are even anything close to that. Now, again, I've owned over $2,000 of Microtech. I own a Halo 6. I own two Ultratechs. I own UT85. And I can tell you, out of the knives that I've owned, 3 of them broke. Well, 2 of them broke in 14 days or less after I bought it, okay? And one of them, it broke 2 years down the line, and I sent it in 3 times to Microtech, and they could never refine, you know, they could never do the repairs correctly, and I ended up, guess what, just selling at a deep discount. So now on this knife, again, I paid only $113. They have multiple versions of it, right? They have the low end, which is, this is the one, the low end, and then they have the high end. The high end is like $209. The low end, it was $217, and I paid $213 for it. So I didn't want to risk my money in buying Chinese and spending $200 on something, you know? I was like, dude, that's crazy. So I said, let me get this low end one, okay? And here's the funny thing, I bought another low end one. This is another counterfeit or clone of a Microtech, but this is a $61 knife or $68 knife. I can't remember. It's like right in the 60s, and this is $113, $117 knife. So the difference between this and this is totally different, guys. Okay. Now I wish I had my brand new Halo to compare this with, but again, I had to ship it back in because as soon as I bought it, there was a manufacturing defect in it. So that's, you know, again. So I don't have to compare it, but I will once I get it back in. I had to, you know, have to wait 4 to 6 weeks to get it back. But I do have 2 counterfeits, right, or 2 clones of Microtechs, and this is a cheaper version. But even that it's a cheaper version, you know, I was pretty darn happy with it. Okay, you can see. I mean, you can't even see the lines. You know, it shoots straight. Okay, it's super sharp. Like literally super sharp, like, you know, it even cuts my hair skin, guys, okay? Now, I had this knife for about a month. I've been using it, but you can see it just takes my skin, my hair away, guys. It's still sharp, right? So I'm pretty impressed with this. This was only $61 or $68, something like that. And man, I was way more impressed with this than my $750 Halo, even though that's the original. Now, this doesn't feel as good as the Halo because the material's cheaper, it's $61. But compared to this other one that's double the price, this feels like the original article. It fires hard. I mean, it's pretty impressive, right? And I'll get into it. But I want to quickly talk about the 2 different types of clones because there are clones that are great, I mean, amazing. And I've done a video about this clone, and I bought this one from AliExpress. You know, it's amazing, but it doesn't feel as good as this one, right? And that's why I decided, since I was happy with this one, again, I've never owned any, I always buy American-made goods. I never bought a clone before, but I bought a couple of Microtechs. I wasn't happy with it. So I said, let me try one of these clones. And I bought this one. I was like super happy with it. I was like, okay, let me step it up and see what I can get. If I double my money, what's the quality difference? And the quality difference is it feels like a real Microtech. I mean, the way it fires, I mean, it fires with authority. I mean, compared to these two, this one fires pretty amazingly too, but it doesn't have that amazing kick to it. Doesn't, like, you know, doesn't have that authority. But again, I never had any problems with this not locking out or misfiring. Same with this one. I just got this. It's only like maybe 2 or 3 days old. I've carried it every day since I got it. You know, but it's truly amazing, and I just can't believe for just $100, right around $100, what I'm going to get, right? Man, I mean, truly amazing craftsmanship. You know, when I feel on this, and I'll do another video once I get the original article in, but I don't have it because it broke on me, defect from the manufacturer. But look at this bad boy. This is from the little stain under. I could wipe it off real quick from the sheet that it comes in with. This is the sheet right here. Okay, now we'll get into the sheet in a second. But guys, going back to this knife I would say is 5 to 10 times better than this knife, because the way it feels, the aluminum, the texture, the craftsmanship, the way it fires. Okay. Now, one thing about these knives, both of these knives, is they don't have the same steel as the original article. This one has D2 and this was a D2. But besides that, this one is, you know, way lighter aluminum. And this one's the same, almost the same, if not the same exact weight. Feels way much heavier than this one. Closer to the original, if not exactly the same, but I'll do a video when I have the original. But this one feels way, 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 way better, way more authority when you fire it. And it looked like they did more work on the craftsmanship. Now, both of these things are super sharp. They're even sharp enough to cut my hair on. Again, I mean, they're super sharp out of the box. And I was so impressed by it because when I spent 61 bucks, you know, something from China, I thought it was going to be crappy crap, doggy dog. But I was super impressed by it. And that's why I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and get the one that's double the price of this one. Right, so there was a 61, this is like 113. I was like, I'm going to go ahead. Now that I got this, right, I want to go and get the $200 one, because I'm like, dude, this company, Vespa, is for real. Like, you know, they're not joking around. They're not just shitty Chinese. It reminds me of like the story of Toyota and Ford, right? Or Hyundai and Ford, because, you know, Chevy and Ford, they used to make a lot of good cars in America, but then something happened. The companies focused on the profit margin more than providing a good product. And so they had a lot of loyal customers, but they were tired of their transmissions breaking. They were tired of not getting the high 200, 300,000 miles on their cars. So, and they started breaking. So then they moved to these Chinese brand or Korean brand, which was like the Toyotas and the Ford. And man, they bought the car and the car was 300,000 miles without ever breaking down. They were like, damn, they were impressed because the price was cheaper. It was higher made quality. And then 10 years later, Ford and GMC are not making cars anymore. They're only making trucks and SUVs because they can't compete with the Toyota. You know, Toyota puts them out of this world because they give you a better car, low maintenance or hardly any maintenance. Kind of the same thing with happening with Lexus and Mercedes, right? And so I can tell you guys that things have came a long way. And the same thing is happening, I believe, in the knife industry, is that, for example, these American-made companies are putting too much emphasis on profit margin, right? Trying to sell you a knife for $750, you know, versus making high quality stuff, right? Making high quality. Now, I'm not saying Microtech doesn't make high quality, but again, I bought $2,270 from it. out of 4 of my OTF, 3 of them broke. 2 of them broke in less than 14 days of ownership. I mean, I just bought it from the dealer. I had to send them back in. So you can say that was maybe my luck, but I mean, guys, the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. And I don't have a dog in the race. I don't have a horse in the race. I don't care if I'm not gonna get money if people buy this company, Vespa. I'm not gonna get money if people buy this guy's company, nor am I gonna get the money from if they buy a Microtech. But I can tell you from my own personal experience of spending a lot of money that, man, it has opened my mind to Chinese companies, especially, you know, high-end Chinese company, medium-end Chinese companies, and low-end Chinese companies. You know, I don't want low-end Chinese company products. They're just like crappy doggy dog, you know. And medium level you know, quality is pretty awesome, because this is what's like 61 bucks. I mean, look at it. Look at the lines on it. I mean, this thing I just showed you. I had this for about a month, and I've used it like heavily, cut into cardboard, cutting into oranges, pomegranate, grapefruit, so a lot of acidity stuff. And this thing still shaves hair off my arms, man. So, I mean, dude, it's ridiculous. Like, you know, and this is amazing. But I want, you know, I have a lot of knives, so I want something better. I want something to the original, man. And I got the mid-level of quality from Vespa, and man, it blows me away. Now, the only regret I have from this knife is one thing. I wish right off the bat I would have bought the $200 version, because they have a $200 version, and that one has the M390, like my original Halo. That one has this titanium trigger, if you want to call it, trigger pull or whatever you want to call it, right? But this one's aluminum, right? This one's aluminum, but the other one's like the Halo, which is the titanium, if I'm not mistaken. So you do with the $200 Vespa, it'll be apples versus apples of, you know, the Halo 6, because everything, the materials are exactly the same. The only difference is, instead of me paying $750 and getting not a great product, I would have paid $200 and we got an amazing product, because man, I am so blown away, guys. I just can't explain. I mean, the workmanship on this thing is freaking amazing, dude. Look at this thing. Okay, I mean, literally, you can see this line here because of the brightness of it. Right? I mean, like, literally, when I run my fingers over this, none of those things are sticking out. I mean, it feels amazing. Look at this thing. It's like, look at that, man. It's like perfect, amazing, right? Again, this only cost $100 bucks, 113 bucks, 117 bucks, right? I'm not talking about 7. I mean, and there is no play, dude. Look at this thing, dude. Okay, listen. That was my bracelet, guys, making the noise. Oh, I'm pushing it down. Okay, let me pull this back up. My bracelets makes noise here and there. All right. So, I mean, literally, with my Halo 6 Microtech original, it made noise. Very small amount of play, if I can't even say. This one is pretty tight too. This one has more play, okay, but not much. This one is very, if not anything, okay. There has to have some room for it to come out, right? When you hold it with the very, very tip, you can have more play, but from here, nothing. Here, just a little bit. So, blows me away, guys, that the Chinese companies are now making better quality versus the American. And I think the problem is that we're so, you know, in America, we all want profits over, you know, representing, you know, taking care of the community, taking care of customers. You know, all the companies are all worried about profit margin. They don't care if they lay off people. They don't care if this. They just want profit. And I think that's hurting our corporations, because, dude, if you're gonna sell something for 750 bucks, you better have triple layer of inspections to make sure you're sending out some good products. So here's the other thing that blew me away, guys. For freaking $113, right? I got this beautiful box. I got this, right? All right. Now, this sheath is not as good as the Microtech, but it's still awesome. It has this little functionality where it opens up. These little things pop up, so you can adjust it for your different belt. I mean, everything's amazing on it, but the sheet, I would say, was the only thing that would be skimmed out because it's probably plastic versus the original article Kydex. Right? But here's the other cool things, right? You get this little tool, you know, I mean, like, you can't even open your Microtech, but these guys are giving you your own tool, dude. I mean, amazing. They also give you an extra spring if you happen to just, you know, break your spring. Now you got an extra spring, right? Look at it. That's awesome, right? But then some people say, well, Mike, this thing doesn't have the warranty. This thing doesn't have the warranty of the real deal, Mike. And guys, let me tell you, like I said, with my personal experience on one of my Ultratech, I had to send it to Microtech 3 times and never fixed it for me. Right? Imagine how much wait time that is, right? And then I had to sell it at a deep discount because I couldn't really use it that great. And I had to disclose it when I sold it, and I got, you know, not what I should have got for it, okay? So if this thing breaks, right, I'm totally fine with it. I can buy 6 more, and still have 50 bucks in my pocket. So this thing can break 6 more times, and I still have 50 bucks in my pocket, right? Versus if I had bought the real deal. Okay, so I'm not really worried about it because A, I could buy 6 more of these. 2, by looking at it, by examining this, by having the original article with me, right, and had it in my hand. Again, I don't have it right now because I have shipped it, but I'll do a video once it comes back from Microtech that this is a solid thing. And my only regret is, damn, I should have bought the most expensive one they had because I'm a knife geek, right? I'm a knife nerd. I like nice knives. And I'm like, man, you know, instead of getting the D2, I should have got the M390, right? Instead of getting the aluminum, I should have got the titanium, right? So now, that's the only regret I have. I have no freaking regret. You know, I'm like, my other regret, I should say, is that, man, if I would have just bought this one from the get-go, I wouldn't bought the Halo 6 original article for $750. I would not have done it. Because this thing is so freaking awesome that I wouldn't bought the original one. And so if I have 2 regrets is, A, when I bought this, I wish I would have bought the top end one versus the D2 one. I would have just stepped it up. But I didn't want to risk it because, you know, I hear all this bad stuff about Chinese companies. So I'm like, man, do I want to spend $200, you know, and wait 30 days to get my knife? Or, you know, and so I didn't want to, right? But now that I actually hold one, I'm like, man, dude, this is as good as the real deal, but just 700% cheaper. And they give me tools to fix it. And they give me extra spring, and they give me a rack to clean it, right? It's like, dude, Microtech didn't do that. Sure, I don't have a warranty, but I could buy 6 more of these, right? If they break, if I lose it, I could buy 6 more. I could actually use this because, you know, on the real one, I'm scared to use it because my other two Ultratechs, which is out the front OTF knives, they broke because I used them, you know? If I cut apples, well, they don't work. If I cut, you know, watermelon, if I cut mangoes, you know, it gets, you know, it doesn't work. After a while, the spring doesn't work. And so that's why, you know, I said, I'm not going to buy any more Microtech. But what happened is I bought this Microtech. Let me show it to you. Right? This bad boy. This is a fixed plate. And I thought, you know what? Let me give Microtech another chance. And so I bought the Halo, the original, spent $750. Less than 14 days, I had to ship it back in because there was too much lag. There was too much opening right here. You know, you could see right through the other side of it, and the screws were all coming out in front. And I tried to screw it back in, but it still was having the same problem after maybe 20. Popping it out, dude, it would loosen it up again. So I hope that everything works out with my original article. But man, this thing is truly a beauty. Now they have different colors, right? And again, they have 2 different levels. They have the low level, which is like better than all the other knockoffs that I've seen, right? Way better. Like, and then they have the high quality top of the line one, which is basically a apple by the Halo, and I didn't buy that one, right? I saw YouTube videos, reviews on that one, but I said, let me go get the one that's lower. But man, this thing that's lower is you know, it's amazing. Now, who is this for? Could be for the collector. This can be for the everyday knife user. This can be for the person that's an entrepreneur. This can be for the real estate investor. You know, like, let me tell you guys, you know, being a landlord, you know, there's been squatters in my property, so you know, it's always good to have, you know, something with you. You know, being a real estate investor, being a real estate agent, same thing, right? Being an entrepreneur, and it's always good to have, you know, a tool with you to cut apples, to, you know, cut your seatbelt if you're in a car wreck. You never know what kind of situation you can be in. It's always good to have the right tool. And I can tell you, man, I am super impressed, not only by the $61 knockoff, but also on the higher end knockoff. And the higher end knockoff is just out of this world, like literally, right? And my only regret is I should have just bought the top of the line one versus the low one. And that's it. I don't have any regrets with this one, man. And the other regret is I should have even bought the Halo. Shit, I spent too much money. I made some guy rich, and he didn't appreciate my business, right? Because if he did, he would inspect his product 100%. He would improve on people's complaints that it says it breaks down after using it for food cutting. If you're cutting cheese, it doesn't matter, right? Try to improve on your product. Try to evolve, right? Versus just worrying about profiting your pockets. Now, I don't have a problem with people who want to profit their pockets, because I'm an entrepreneur and I like, you know, creativity, imagination, and putting work and effort to create wealth for yourself, right? But there's a big but. If you're not having better product, then I also believe in the free capitalism, free enterprise from consumers to vote with their money, what they believe in. And look, Microtech made me buy the fake stuff, because after spending so much money with them and having so much problems, right, they made me buy the fake just to see what it's about. Now that I bought the fake, it's going to be hard to go back to the real, because I can get same quality, right? And this is a D2, remember, but just for another 60 bucks, I could have 80 bucks. I could have got the M93, which was even better quality, right? Which is crazy, mind-boggling to me, guys. Hey, look at this bad boy. There we go. Look at it. Truly amazing. And dude, you know, from now on, my impression of Chinese companies has changed. I'm not gonna listen to other people. I'm just gonna try it out for myself, dude. And man, and I know there are shitty Chinese companies out there, and I know there are medium Chinese companies out there, and I know there's top quality Chinese companies out there. And my goal is to find a top quality Chinese companies and do business with them, because man, they're definitely like providing better quality at way more better prices, and they're giving away a box with it. They're giving the tools, they're giving extra pieces, parts, they're giving me extra screws that I forgot to show to you, they give me a rag to clean it. And you know, you would think that Microtech would be doing this, but they're not, right? So again, I don't have a problem with paying high top dollars, but I want the performance of top dollar. I don't want to pay profit margins to someone, right, to fatten their pockets, while the qualities, they're charging Ferrari money but delivering Civics, delivering Ford Focus, right? You're going to charge Ferrari money, you got to provide the performance of Ferrari. I don't have a problem buying a $750 knife, but dude, I can't be shipping it back to you guys and waiting for the 6 weeks, right? Because you guys didn't do your job correctly as craftsmanship. You know, that's ridiculous, dude. And because of this multiple failures, multiple disappointments with Microtech, they pushed me to the edge to buy counterfeit or colognes. This is a counterfeit, this is a cologne. This doesn't say Microtech. But now that you guys pushed me, I'm not sure if I'm gonna come back anymore. And you know, and I think that more and more people are going to realize that, dude, you got to take care of your product or services if you want to have return customers. All right. And now some people say, Mike, on YouTube, everyone talks great about them. I'll tell you what. See, some companies have realized that influencers like YouTubers can persuade buyers to buy for them. And that's why I fell in for Microtech. And I can almost promise you they have people working in their companies and their only job is to find influencers and give them money, give them free knives, give them loaner knives, whatever the story may be, incentivize them to do these raving reviews, right? And of course, the dealers are going to do raving reviews because when they get a cut of a $750, I'm sure they're making $300, $280 profit. That's why it's so high. So I think that, you know, they're an amazing company. They make good quality stuff sometimes, but they could improve their game and keep their customers. But if they try to just focus on profit margin only and not really focus on the quality for the amount of money they're charging, then things will change. You just can't put steel in there, be like, oh, I got an M93 and I want 750 for it. Well, the shit gotta work, dude. You know, the shit gotta work like it says it's gonna work. Right? You gotta, you know, you can't just slap some engine in there and some tires and forget about the exhaust system. Anyways, guys, if you like this video, click the like button. Let me know your thoughts below. If you have a Vespa, I'll try to put a link to the seller that I bought this from because there's a lot of sellers out there, and I'm glad I found this one. I'll give you a link below, guys. But it's the company's called Chinese High-End EDC or something. I'll put a link below, guys. But great company. I'm super happy. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep buying Microtechs because I can get as good quality as the original, if not better, for 1/10 of the price. Freaking ridiculous, dude. Right? Ridiculous. I don't care if they don't have warranty because I could buy 6 of these things, right? Different colors for every day. And, you know, I could, you know, or buy the higher quality one for 200 and buy 4 of those things or 3 of those things, you know what I mean? And I still have some money left. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Click the like button. Don't take no for an answer. Remember, you're powerful, you're amazing, you're smart, you're creative. And click the like button. Peace.